G'day detailers, Daily. Before we kick off today's episode, I'd like to make welcome Autofiber Australia, our new sponsor. So, as we all know, one thing when it comes to professional detailing, it's really important to use the right microfiber for the job, especially when it comes to ceramic coatings, glass cleaning, and etc. So, the guys at Autofiber Australia are offering an exclusive deal to all our Detailing Down Under podcast listeners. So they're giving us 15% off on our first order. So head on over to autofiber.com.au and use the code 15DDUP. Also, if you are a business owner, you can also email Autofiber Australia. So that's sales@autofiber.com.au, and that'll get you 10% off, and you set up your trade account for that. So seriously amazing, good stuff. Really, I've been using their applicators and scrub ninjas for a while now, even before this pod. So yeah, I really like the brand and what they offer. So, and I wouldn't support it if I didn't like it. So head on over and see for yourself how good they really are and their products. So so thanks again, Autofiber Australia, for coming on board, and hope you enjoys today's episode. Thanks.
Welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast, the place for everything auto detailing in Australia right now. Here's your host, Dale Guthrie.
G'day and welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Dale Guthrie. So we're back again into it, as I say every week. So we'll keep this show rolling week to week, which is pretty good. And pretty good one today. I got Joe from Steve's Auto Group, all the way from Blacktown. So how you going, Steve? Joe, sorry.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good, Dale. Good. Nice to speak to you, mate. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for making the time.
No, thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
It's a big privilege for us, so we appreciate it.
Getting you mixed up with your dad already, so.
Yeah, that's all right. A lot of people do, mate.
Yeah. No, awesome. So, yeah, this Steve's Auto Group. So, from what I can tell, you do all sorts there. So, not just detailing. So, which is pretty different, and I think it's a good. And that's why I thought when we had a chat about getting you on, I thought, yeah, this would be a good one. And it's not all about detailing, and it's probably how you got there as well, I guess. So so we'll probably start with Steve's Auto Group. Where did that all stem from?
Yeah, so originally Steve's Auto Group, Dad had started the business in 1983. He was about 25 years old. So Steve himself, and he started off as a mechanic. It started off as a mechanic shop known as Steve's Automotive Services and Repairs. So that's what it originally was called. The reason for obviously going to Steve's Auto Group was due to the avenues we took. We couldn't call it just a mechanical repair shop anymore. But it started back in 1983, where he done a lot of maintenance, suspension, brakes, automatics, clutches, stuff like that. So that was good. He built a very successful business, great reputation with local people, which then therefore spread. So that's where the mechanic side started. I came in here in about 2009 myself. Did my qualification as a motor mechanic. Did mechanical right up until now. Still do a bit of mechanical. But due to the industry, combustion engines, hearing a lot about electric cars, and not knowing which avenue, where it's going to go, where it's going to take us, maybe hydrogen in the future now through Toyota, what we're hearing, we decided to move forward. Try and expand the business, and my brother Anthony and I, we went into auto electrical in 2016, more for accessory fit outs, doing 4Bs and all like electric brake modules for caravans, heavy trailers. So that's where we've gone down in that path in 2016. Then got into window film in 2019. So we still do all this, and this is where detailing came about. We thought we loved tinting. Look, don't get me wrong, it was a tough gig at first, trying to get a bit of film on a window, especially the rear glass of curved cars and glass, and it was tough. It was tough. There was days I'd get, and I think far out, why are we even trying this? Why are we attempting this? Leave it to the professionals, But 3 years on, we're a lot better. I'd hate to see my first job, but we're definitely a lot better than what we were. So it's come a long way. And yeah, because we needed something a bit more cleaner, but a more secure spot for tinting. We couldn't obviously do it in the mechanical side or the auto electrical side. We thought we're going to need something to do this in. So that's where it sort of opened up our avenues after watching a bit of YouTube. And we've always had a lot of passion for cars. So that's where we started looking into the detailing section. I mean, we used to wash our cars once a week, very particular. But did we wash it the right way? Definitely not.
Probably not.
So back in the day, the good old yellow foam sponge and, just dip it in the same bucket and
one bucket. Yep.
Yeah, the good old chamois and wipe it off and thought it was looking immaculate. Far from the point now. But we were very particular, Anthony and I, and we always wanted to keep our cars clean. We then started doing customers' cars, just a basic wash, like $30 wash, just after a service. We do a wash and make it look good, presentable for them to take it. And then I started looking at, like I said earlier, YouTube and looking into, detailing and looking into what type of people, what type of interior details and how they went down, exterior details and coatings. And I, as you would probably know, Chicago Auto Pros, I was a big fan of I am a big fan of them. And
I'm a big fan. Yep.
Yeah, massive fan. So I was watching a lot of their YouTube videos, and then all of a sudden in 2020 they had a course. So mind you, we started doing like hand polishes prior to that in 2009 to 18, 19, like hand polishes, but never got onto a DA or a rotary because I was scared shitless. So to say the least, had no idea. And Chicago had this 3-day course back in February, I think it was Feb or March 2020. And prior to that, I was trying to look for places around that would sort of help us out to sort of get out the right avenue into the detailing. Like, I didn't want to just be a general car wash or, general, just a wipe down of interior. I actually wanted to get physically and, deeply into detailing. And so I said to my brother, I said, look, I'm planning to go to Chicago, and people will laugh about this. I think, Chicago for 3 days to do a bit of detailing. But I said, no, I'm gonna pay the money. I'm going to pay my airfare. Look, consider it as a little bit of a holiday, even though we only stayed there for 5 or 6 days. And I'm going to, I've always wanted to meet Jason, and so I said, I'm going over there. He goes, well, you know what? I'm coming with you. So sure enough, there was only probably about a couple of COVID cases in Chicago at the time. I remember Dad telling me, do you really want to go through this time? I said, no, I'm going. So, yeah, and then that's how we did our course over there in Chicago. It was a great course. I mean, we did a lot of different things with different guys. Like we had Jason Kilmer there, Wilson from Wilson's Auto Detailing, Phil and Jess from Miranda Detailing. We also had Alan from AM Details in the UK. So we had those guys there, as well as Jason and Greg and their workers. And I tried to fit as much as I could possibly fit in on notes in my iPhone and in my mind, and videoing and then I felt this passion in me that this is what I want to continue. Yeah, so started from back there into the more in-depth details, just looking into it and how it works. So we're quite young into it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
pretty awesome story. So you much prefer detailing than on the tools, spanners?
Oh, mate, definitely. Don't get me wrong. There is times when we're doing coatings, or then you think, or PPF or detailing or anything like that, and you think, oh, mate, what have I done? But it's definitely, it's definitely different in terms of obviously the way you got to look at the vehicle. But yeah, definitely a lot cleaner, that's for sure. So yeah, wow. I do enjoy it.
You don't hear that very much, like mechanics then turn into detail and stuff like that. It might be the opposite sometimes, but yeah, normally they're grease monkeys and don't care how dirty or clean the car is. They just drive it. So
yeah. That's true. And a lot of my customers have said, "What are you doing? Like, what are you going into detailing now?" Like, and my biggest thing is I didn't want to come across as like someone that was getting the jack of all trades just for the sake of money. My brother and I, we really love cars as a passion, and our passion is in cars. And And to see, we're type of the guys that we want to push ourselves beyond. But in saying that, when we got our mechanical side, we've got our mechanics. When we've got our auto electrical side, we've got our auto electrician, and I've got a detailer and / tinter with me. So he's a young guy who we've trained up. So I wanted to keep the avenues still separate and still professional to making sure that the end result would still be there. So yeah.
So it's pretty much like a dealership but you're not associated with anyone. You're sort of like an aftermarket dealership, and everyone can get their car detailed and serviced all in the one spot.
Yeah, correct. I mean, our aim from back in probably 2018, 19 was to make a one-stop shop as much as we can. I mean, we don't do performance or anything like that in terms of the mechanical section, but if someone was to get a new car, they want to, just for example, coating's put in the car, then, the first service we can do that because we're under the MTA, we're qualified to do new car servicing and without avoiding new car warranty, no matter the brand, as long as we're using genuine parts. And yeah, that was our aim, and sometimes we get guys with Forbies, they want, light bars put on, spotlights, electric brake modules, dual batteries, and we've got that avenue too. So tried to sort of, snatch it up, but still make it everything professional at the end of it, make it, quality. So,
yeah. Was your location big enough for it, or did you have to sort of find a new one or do some renos?
Look, we're lucky enough. Our location has gotten a little bit small over the years. I mean, Dad's been here since '83. It's got a little bit small because of the avenues we've taken, but luckily we've managed to rent out a unit next door, which we've fitted out. It took a little bit of time to get to that stage, but and just keep it for your detailing, tinting, and PPF. Yep. So that allowed us to expand a little bit more. That's ideal for us at the moment for the detailing side because we're not a high turnover business there. But on our mechanical side, probably could do with an extra bay or so. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you look elsewhere for training within Australia? Because I know we talked about it before with others about there is probably a lack of detailing training in Australia, and where to go and who to ask for it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, look, I mean, I probably didn't know well enough how to dig my nose into it to see who was doing the training. So I can't really say that. I can't really say that I didn't. How can I say that? I can't say that there wasn't any avenues to take in Australia, but was it quite easily available? I don't think it was. Just because either people had started and they weren't doing it. There was people that I rang, they stopped doing that type of training. But more the reason why I went to the US was because I know how advanced they are and how much more advanced they are or how far ahead they are, as I believe Cam was saying, beyond us. So I thought if I can get my head in the door over there, maybe it will advance my sort of training and my thought and how I take and how I process things. And speak to some. I didn't know some of those big guys were going to be there, and I only met them there and then. And it was a great opportunity. So I was actually happy I went over there. But yeah, I think there could be a better courses here and more noticeable. So for people who are wanting to come into the detailing industry.
Yeah, I think Jace for Chicago. I think they do a bit of business training as well. Was there much around that as well? Is it all hands-on stuff?
So those 3 days, yeah, they do a business training course. They do. Did I sit for that one? No, I'll be honest with you, we didn't. It probably would have been a good idea to do that, but I really wanted to get physically on the tools, physically knowing different things, because at the time when they did do this course, it was you could go if you want to nominate yourself to go to this course while this other course is happening. That's why I couldn't juggle both because they were going over each other in terms of time. Yeah. But they do.
Yeah, wow. You have many challenges starting out with your first sort of, once you started advertising saying you're doing detailing, how'd you go on your first couple of cars?
Yeah. Challenges, mate. I think I've still got until today, some of them. But I think our starting off challenge, the main one was to introduce it into the business. I think to allow people to know that we're actually going into detailing. We're not just a general car wash. We're not just just a quick vac. We want to go into detailing in terms of getting into paintwork. Removing defects in paint and going really deep into interiors, where it's deep cleaning, steamers, stuff like that, removing seats. And that, I think that was a big challenge for us because you got customers that are willing to spend that type of money, and you got customers willing not to spend that. So that was one of the challenges. I've got a number of challenges. Products was a big thing as well. What products do we use?
Yeah.
I went to the States. They looked at their warehouse there for their suppliers, their Chicago suppliers, and you go in there. There's like hundreds of different products, and you're like, what do I choose? There's 8, 10, 20 different interior details, 20 external, shampoos, and 10 tire shines. And you obviously want to pick the best ones because you want the best product out of it. But I mean, they all work individually, as I've come to learn over the time. So that was another challenge. In terms of knowing setting prices was probably one of the bigger ones. I mean, a lot of guys would, and I think even till today, I still see a lot of those issues. But setting prices to say, look, this is my time, and what is my time worth? So will I produce what the customer's expecting I'll produce with the amount I'm charging them? So I found that to be very difficult, because then when I did get on the buffer, where do I stop then?
Yeah.
As a lot of detailers have said in the past. So those were some of the challenges, and building that reputation to get started.
Yep.
All combined. So
All right. Did you look at other chemical companies and stuff like that, like with coatings? Did you always? I'm pretty sure you're with Modesta. Was that always the first choice, or did you have a look around and try some other things?
Yeah, originally I'd started with Geon and G-Technic, between those. But the biggest reason why I went to Chicago was that I knew they did use Modesta. I'd heard a bit about it. Obviously, you have to be certified to be a Modesta dealer, so that takes a bit of time to get into that as well. And I was lucky Cam Watson took us in and showed Anthony and I the processes and whatnot, and to become certified. And but prior to that, we were using G-Technic. The reasons for not continuing with G-Technic, I think, not bad mouthing any names or anything like that, but I think it's just too readily available to anyone, and I didn't like the idea of that, not only because from a business perspective, but there's no quality control then, I feel. If you can get, you get guys doing it out there, and so be it. Enthusiasts look, I'm happy for enthusiasts to be doing what they're doing, but when, guys are doing it and selling it out of their garage or something like that, and it's they're not a business as such, you can't compete with those type of prices. And then again with quality, you're comparing your quality to someone else's quality, and but at the end of the day, the customer only sees the same product on the car.
Yep.
So that's where I found it difficult. And then knowing Modesta how it was, and you can ask Cam, I bugged him a fair bit to try and get in there, and finally got in the door, and he was really great about it. So to have a coating now that I can actually guarantee properly to my customers, and know that on the one of the installers in Sydney, one of the two installers in Sydney, it actually allows me to allow my customer to understand these are the processes and this is why we charge what we do. So that's a bit about that.
Yeah, nice. Because Modesta is quite exclusive. There's not many of them in Australia, and I believe they're quite fussy who they pick. So yeah, I could imagine Bug and Cam would have been the way to go. I didn't want to get on his wrong side, but no, he was all right. He was good through the whole process. I speak to Cam quite often, and he's become a great friend of mine. And I really did. My brother and I really appreciate what he's done for us, allowing us to come to that Modesta installer, and he saw something in us, and we're happy about that. So no, that's awesome. So you and your brother both detailing day in, day out?
Not so much my brother. My brother sort of came for the experience, sort of to get his head around it. But I've got a young guy who works with us, and I try and work in with him as much as I can. But I have trained him up to understand how to install the coatings, what correction level I want. my brother and I sometimes overlook the business in all sections because sometimes it's a bit much for Dad at times. But yeah, no, I try and get my hands on as much as I can over there. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. How many employees have you got all together there, like in all departments?
Yeah, including in all departments, including myself. There's eight of myself. It's eight of us. Eight or not? Yeah, eight of us. Yeah.
Yep.
So we got five mechanics, one auto elec, my brother in the office, and my dad. What's that? 5, 6, 7, and then Luke a detailer. I've counted right. 8 or 9 anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
Yeah.
So how do you go with the mechanic side? What do you see most of coming through? What's pretty popular?
Yeah, look, Japanese cars were very obviously pre 2010. There was a lot of Holdens and Fords. Obviously, with everything going down with Holden and Ford, we started to lose a lot of that work. But then we started seeing a lot of Korean cars, like your Hyundais, a lot of Japanese cars, and also European cars have come a long way into our shop in terms of work. Yeah. There's a bit of a variety, but more I'd say the majority are Japanese or Korean cars that come through. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You mentioned PPF. Are you doing PPF? I heard that word there.
Yeah, I mean we got PPF posts and stuff, but we got a contractor that we use for our bulking, because bulking, as you probably know, is it's a mission. So I want to get better at it. I do want to advance in it over the next year or so. The only things I'm bulking at the moment is headlights, and mirrors are a headache.
Yeah.
Side mirrors are a headache, so they've been a bit difficult. But we are with bush wraps.
Yep.
So we did our course last year with Sammy from Bush Wraps. And we're installing bush wraps. We've done a fair few jobs now. A lot of Y62 patrols and a couple of Hiluxes and a couple of Rangers. So they've come up well for what they give and what you get out of it. It's excellent. So yeah,
pretty cool product.
It is, yeah, as you'd know. So
yeah, no, nice. I've got a Do you do the Y62 quarters in one piece or two piece?
The rear quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that funny that you say that, because originally when with the advanced kits we had the two pieces. There was two pieces there, and then I had a customer put the two piece on, and he said, "Oh, I don't really like that line in the middle there." And I said, "Look, that's what comes in the advanced kit, you know." He goes, "Yeah, I saw that online, but he goes, I don't really like it." He goes, I said, "Well," he goes, "I'll speak." He said he's going to speak to the girls, see if they could, because he supplied the kit. Said he could send one piece down. And I said, yeah, that's right. See, I said, I'm not sure, but obviously it would come out of their more pro, I guess their pro kit. Yeah. And it came in. I thought, geez, I wonder how this is going to go down. But it actually went down really well. I actually prefer the one piece, just firstly for the look, and I don't know, it seemed to get it down a bit easier rather than fiddling with the little bits on the end. So
yeah. I sort of had the similar thing. So you try and get that joint as best you can. I got it tight, and then it seemed like over time it sort of spread apart. So talking with the customer and Maddie as well, we got a one piece. So I've got to get that car in yet. That's booked in, but yeah, we'll try on the one piece as well. I think it would be better as a one piece.
Yeah, it'd be better. Like obviously with PPF, because if you butt it, it will sort of lift. So you can't really butt it, and you leave it like a mil gap or 2 mil gap. You're trying to work with the fill. But the one piece you'll love. The only thing that I did notice is that obviously you need a couple of people to sort. It's a big piece.
Yeah,
it comes in a lot bigger roll than the standard advanced kit. Yeah. So but it's good. It's good.
Yeah, that's what I got my wife for. She comes and helps. So
that's excellent.
It's good. So what's your challenges day to day in your detailing side? Do you have many up there?
I think I still challenge. I think our challenges is sometimes it can be finding work. You know, getting people to know where you are. New people. I mean, I wouldn't say we started this by ourselves, because if it wasn't for our dad, you know, we wouldn't have the customer clientele we've had so far. Don't get me wrong, we've had a fair few new people, but you know, obviously his reputation's helped. But yeah, I think finding people, you know, out of the area is been a little bit difficult at times. Also, yeah, I think still the prices have come a lot better, but in terms of knowing where to stop is I still find it a little bit hard. I still do find it quite difficult, because I still want a great end result for the customer, and I'll probably go a bit far and beyond, like other detailers do, to present to their customer. And as for the other thing, I think trying to manage when you do get busy the workload and managing to see whether, you know, do I want to get someone else on to train them up, or will me and my guy that's working with us be fine enough with what the workload we got? So trying to grow it to sort of get someone else in, but then you get your busy months, as you'd probably know, and you get your quiet weeks, and you think, gee, I could really, I wouldn't be able to support that person properly, you know. So I think that's a challenge I'm sort of facing still to today. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I think there's probably quite a few out there could relate to that about employing more and have I got the workload, and then even some are advertising and can't get anyone. That's the other thing too.
Yeah, it can be difficult. It's managed. I think the hardest thing is to find in most trades, and we experience it in different avenues, is to find people that have got a passion for what they do. So, I think that's the hardest thing. Yeah.
Do you sort of do a combo with any sort of maintenance, like mechanic work, then into the detailing? Like, do a lot of people just book their car in and say, "Can I get it detailed while it's there?" Or
like we had one today, an Audi SQ5. He brought it in, needed some wheel nuts replaced, so we replaced those. And he goes, "Oh, while you got it there, can you just do your maintenance detail?" I said, "Yeah, no worries." Sometimes we can't because we just got a bit on, but yeah, we sometimes do. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a massive way we get work, but we do get some of it that way. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So.
How's the window tinting going nowadays? Good.
Yeah, it's a lot better, Dale. Yeah, definitely a lot better. You know, you get new cars, and they can be sometimes a challenge here and there because you'd like, you know, you get to figure out your way of approaching. I think Teslas are probably one of the more difficult ones these days for us, anyway, because of the big window at the back and trying to get that large window done. So, but yeah, no, it's come a long way. I mean, we had a lot of problems at the start with edges and, you know, shrinking, but that's not a problem these days. It's we got our booths which help the dust and minimize the dust, but I mean, you know, all you got to do is bump a roof lining on your rear tint, and it's almost a throwaway. So not like PPF where you can just pull it up and pull the dust out.
Yeah.
If you bump it a little bit, mate, you can try and flush it out, but you're never going to get a good job out of it. That's for sure. So yeah, that's come a long way.
Yeah. So how far out Blacktown? How far that's out of Sydney?
Yeah, so Blacktown is probably about, I'd say if you take the highways, you're probably about 40 minutes out from the CBD.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we are. We're not far from, there's a place in Castle Hill. I don't know if you've heard of Castle Hill. Yeah, we're probably about 20 minutes from Castle Hill, 20 minutes from Castle Hill. And yeah, so probably about there. Yeah. So.
Oh, nice. And you obviously do you sell the products? I see that you got a few behind you.
We've got our little detail store now. It's detail supplies warehouse. So we sell a range of different products here now. My brother's actually started that, my younger brother. So and it's actually good. The thing was, we were buying a lot of detailing products, and we were needing it quite often. So we started storing a fair few products before Enzo had come in the picture. And I said to my brother, it'd be good if you could, you know, we thought together it could be good to start up something, you know, just have an online store. And so, yeah, that's where his avenue is. He sort of set that out. And it's hard for the first 6 months. There's a lot of outlays of costs and products, but yeah, it's done me well next door. Just buy it through our business through him, and and it helps us out sometimes. So
yeah, nice. What's your thoughts of the Enzo product?
I really do like it, yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Modesta installer. I mean, they are, as Cam said, they are a sister company, I believe. But no, I've had a lot of good experience with Enzo. Definitely great on the coatings. I find that when we do the Pure One wash, because it's pH neutral, and definitely good on the coatings. I can't remember them all, but you know, like all your interior details have been good. The smell likes have been great. I do get a lot of people buying the Pure One and the Quick Detailer. The Quick Detailer is something to go for. So no, I found them to be really good. A lot of our maintenance details are with Enzo now, so we just buy the bigger ones, the bigger. I think it's a 5 litre off Cam.
Yep.
And
No, that's good.
Yeah. So
What are you certified with anyone else or just Podesta? Is there any other
no,
brands you?
yeah,
No?
that's pretty it. I bush and bush wraps just
Oh
certified
yeah. Yep.
installer, but yeah, as for coatings, yeah, Modesta.
Yep.
Um, I I know a few people that go down two avenues and try and sell one or the other to suit the customer, and that's what probably makes it little bit hard at times because people don't want to spend the cost of Modesta sometimes. But at the end of the day, I feel that the end result is great. So that's why I wanted to just stay with Modesta. I think it's been a great coating for us. We've learned to work with it really well. And yeah, there's a few more extra prep methods and probably other coatings, but yeah, we're happy to be certified with them. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
No,
probably the only one. Yeah, so.
no, that's cool. And what's the culture up there? Is there many? There'd be a few detailers up your way there, wouldn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a few big guys out here
Oh
uh,
yeah.
a few smaller guys, but in Blacktown itself, I don't think we've got heaps. I don't know. We've got a lot of car washes and your general washes, and you got some details up the road. But yeah, the culture in terms of culture, I think it's a, sort of cutthroat. Some people, not many people want to share. I feel I could be wrong. I
Mm.
could be wrong, but I haven't had anyone reach out to me. Nor have I reached out to anyone. I did have a good relationship with Fuad from Above and Beyond at the time when he was in business, and that was. But we're in saying that he was in I think Campbelltown, not out that way, and he Reevesby, and we're here. But yeah, he was also a Modesta installer at the time. But yeah, so in terms of culture, look, I don't know exactly if people are willing to help. Like if someone rang me and I could give them advice, I'd be more than happy to. Because at the end of the day, I feel people have got their own customers, and I know detailers that are pulling in, Ferraris, Lambos, Porsches every day, and but that's their clientele, so that's what
Yeah.
they get. And I'm not. Yeah, I think good on them. They're doing that, and but yeah, I don't know if that really answered the question well, but
No, no. Yeah. Sometimes getting them, apparently them Ferraris owners are not the best customers anyway, but who knows?
yeah, who
That's
knows?
what.
Oh, yeah, I haven't had the chance to experience one yet. So
Either have I.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
anything in our industry we could improve, you reckon?
Industry, yeah, I did. Yeah, I was. Yeah, it's hard, but it's easy at the same time. That I think detailing should to be exposed as a profession. I think that needs to be. I think like Cam said, a certification.
Mm.
Because I was listening to him and what he was saying, and I couldn't agree more. I think, look, don't get me wrong. I think I'm very. It's probably a little bit slack for me to say that because I actually started off as doing small work and then getting into big work. But I think some sort of certification should be done only to reason with what we do and why we charge what we do. It's very difficult to. It's difficult to compete with those who haven't got just doing it to push them out to make money, whereas for professionals who are doing it because it's their passion and because they want to give the best result they can. It's not just about the coin at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think that could improve on it. And I was IDA certified at the time. Really did nothing for me down here in Australia. I'm now just a member because I can't get the certification to roll over due to them needing more experience. So I think if something like the IDA came out here but was a bit more hands on, that would be great for details in our profession.
Have like a rep for Australia sort of thing.
Correct. Yeah. Because I got it when I was in Chicago.
Yep.
As part of it, we had to do an exam, and but it just didn't. By then, yeah, you could go. You're a member. You're certified. You could see things, but if you don't keep up that qualification, which is very hard, you either have to bring someone in from overseas or you have to travel. Especially during COVID, when we had COVID, like you couldn't travel at all. It made it hard to keep that certification. So
that's interesting because we haven't had anyone from IDA at all, and we've talked about it. Like, yeah, and you probably would have noticed because you done your mechanic apprenticeship.
yes.
See that I did a panel beating one. So Similar thing, but probably maybe is detailing, not so much an apprenticeship, but you get certified or approved after that.
Yeah, like I was saying, like even with the IDA certification, it didn't mean nothing down here. It didn't mean anything to anyone because like what's IDA certification? Okay, well, cool. Like a lot of people didn't know what it is, but if they made a certification that was known to detailers as such, to say, okay, this person has done their course, has done their certification, to say, okay, look, this is the extensive work they can do, then I think that would make customers feel a lot more comfortable with us as detailers working on their cars, especially for high end cars. And yeah, it flushes all the I should okay I could get a bit of bite at this, but I think it flushes all the enthusiasts out of our game compared to professionals.
Yep.
Let the professionals do what they got to do and let the enthusiasts do what they have to do. Unless you're going to make a business out of it, I think or work for someone. I think there should be a certification or qualification to show, for us.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%.
So
No, that's good because yeah, we have a lot of chat about that, and I did hear that. Yeah, I did speak to someone that there was happening, but then it all sort of fell apart, so it all got a bit messy. But it's disappointing.
it just makes it hard, doesn't it? So, but anyway, that's where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into our 6-stage questions.
Yes.
Can you remember your first ever detailing job?
Yeah. So my first proper detail back in early 2020. I remember having a customer that had a Corolla. They wanted to sell it. So I didn't know about. I wasn't good with setting out packages or anything pre-sale detail. Anyway, it came in. She said she wanted it polished, and so I got on the buffer, and me and Anthony got on the buffer, and staying back late and just working at it. And the paint came up good, like considering we got all the scratches out and everything. But when we handed it over, she was rapt about it. But towards the end of the day, we only charged $300, so that really kicked us in the backside. So yeah. Wow. So that was our first I could say, full on proper interior exterior detail.
Yeah.
But we spent I think we spent over 20 hours on this black Corolla for $300. It was like, oh, this is terrible.
All part of the training.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, exactly.
Favorite polish? Have you got a favorite one there you love getting out?
Yeah. Scory he's going to disagree with me because he said it in his podcast, but I actually like the Bigfoot Nano Hybrid because I've actually come to like it. Initially, I hated the thing. I wanted to throw it out the window. I thought, what a biggest waste of money I've ever bought. But just he's obviously got a lot more experience with the bigger buffers in terms of getting on those edges. But to get in on those edges, I found it to be really good to get those, those minute scratches out where I couldn't get in with the LHR 15 or the Bigfoot Mini. So I found that to be really good. That's probably my favorite sort of tool on exterior. In terms of interior, would be it'd be my steamer. My steamer. I love the steamer. It works well. So.
What one have you got?
Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce it, to be honest. The McCulloch or
the McCulloch, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got that. That's been really good for us. So yeah.
I'm in the market for a steamer, so I have looked at them. I've seen them, so
yeah, it's been great. I mean, it builds up your pressure. You got steam when you need it, steam when you don't need it. So you can just press on the button and it's working. It doesn't burn you as well like the other old steam I used to use to pull tint off. So yeah, it's great.
So that your favourite product as well? Favourite detailing product or tool?
My product is I think I'll go CO2. Modesta, CO2, which is our compound that we use.
Yep.
It's definitely a great product. I initially used Menzerna, and I've had and I still like it. Don't get me wrong. And I used Oberk in the States. I actually didn't mind that. That was actually a really good polish. I found that to give me good results when we're over there training and stuff and seeing what Chicago do. But in saying that, I'd say CO2 compound from Modesta. It's just I like to use it I've used it with other pads, but I do really like using it with the wool pad that Modesta, the short wool pad, because I seem to get a great finish out of it. Sometimes you will have to, lower your speed and go over it that little bit if there is in case of any slight marring or hazing, but generally you can almost finish it with one go over, so one stage. So
Yeah.
CO2 it is.
But that's the boys love rubbing it in because none of us can get our hands on this stuff. So
Well, Cam Watson initially told us, this is a product that you can use, and it almost finished. I thought in the back of my head, I was thinking, surely you can't do a darker coloured car with it. But because we had a few cars to training, I remember we had a Falcon. I think it was a BF Falcon we had there. It was like a dark, I think a dark green, blackish colour, and from memory, and he got on it and showed us, and we were amazed. I was there with Mayor Detailing as well, and we were just flipping out. We couldn't believe it. So, yeah, that's why we rate it.
I think Cam said similar thing. He hustling. He loved it as well. So, interesting.
Yeah, no, it is good stuff. Yeah,
no, that's good. Probably as you've not long started, biggest tip for any detailer starting out.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing is for someone who wants to start out and wants to expand to a business or expand into working for someone, to not focus on to not focus on other people's work. Don't focus on the next detail. Don't focus on what they're doing, because initially I had a little bit of that issue right at the start, thinking, they're getting a lot of cars, and we're only getting a couple, or look what cars they're getting. At the end of the day, a detail is a detail. I think, don't look at the next person. Focus on your own work. Focus on your own business, and push forward with that. And just the only person you got to look at is, at the end of the day, is yourself, and see how far you can exceed on yourself. Push yourself, put not boundaries, put goals forward, and attack those goals. And that way you can keep pushing forward. And if you keep pushing yourself forward, you're only going to get better in yourself and not worry about anyone else around you. If you want to get advice, that'd be good. Make friends like that, but don't challenge yourself like that in terms of what the next person's doing. I think sending out packages from the start. Really sit down with yourself and set out packages to say what each detail encounters. It's very hard when you get a customer coming in and say, I want this and this and this, and then you go far and beyond, so you're losing money, or you go beneath that and they expected more. At least if you've got a package layout, they can read through that, and it all it has to be was in dot form, and you give your prices on where that starts and where it ends, and then keep going with your packages across, and then that way you can show them, and then they say, okay, I want this package, and then at the end of the day, when it comes, how many hours you've got to spend on it roughly, and what they're expecting, what you're expecting, and it's sort of, I've never had a problem since I've done packages. So yeah, that's probably main two things I could say.
Oh, that's a good one. Haven't heard that one.
Yeah,
sort of like we all have a menu sort of thing, or not everyone does, but you know what I mean. Like, this is what we offer, because some people go, what's your package, or I want a full detail or whatever, and give them tell them what it is.
Well, that's the hardest thing, because I still get people come in, and I've had one today, and they said, I just want a full detail. Okay, my full detail is different to your full detail. And then when I explain it to them, they say, no, I just want the interior vacuumed and wiped down, and external, just washed. Whereas my full detail is, single, I would say a starting detail, single stage, polish over the car, wet vacuum, getting all up to scratch where it would be, to where I would think a full detail is, So that package, then when I showed him, I don't want that one. I don't want to spend that much. I want to spend this. So, okay, well, now that's what we're working towards. So it's great idea. Yeah.
No, I think if you ask them what, I think Rudy said it, if you see what the customer actually wants fixed and what they're not happy about, aim to get that sorted, and while you move around the car, if you find something else, fix that. But it's about keeping them happy as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Not to go too crazy like we all do.
No, mate. Yeah, mate, tell me about it.
There's no ending.
It doesn't feel like that, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So, what are your interests out of detailing?
The interests, we've recently got into camping with my family, or my brothers, I should say. I've got 3 brothers, so we recently go camping now when there's good weather down here in Sydney. So we've been doing that. Just get a bit of fresh air, get out in the open. No technology. always on our phones otherwise. And, with the business, it gets quite difficult at times, as you'd know. So doing a bit of that. Also watching a bit of sport here and there. Probably, I like the Formula One, although I haven't kept up with it lately. Probably family and quality time, I'd say. Yeah, quality family time.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say is my interest.
No, nice.
Yeah.
Do you use Monday to Friday, or do you do a weekend or Saturday mornings?
So our mechanical side's Monday to Saturday, and our detailing side's Monday to Friday.
Yep.
So we'll generally book as much as we can in from Monday to Friday to work with what we've got for detailing.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Do you get much pushback with customers with pricing? Do they go, "You're too expensive," or "How much?" and "I'll get back to you"? Do you get a lot of that?
Yeah. That's what I wanted to bring up to you, because it's actually quite common. It's probably a bit too common for what I like at times. Because people. That's another thing we find. I mean, you got your corner car washes, and look, good on them. They've got their own business. They're going well. But I feel a lot of people that are looking to detail their car, they compare us with them.
Yep.
And so people might say, "Oh, gee, that's a bit expensive. I wasn't expecting that," or But I said, look, the biggest thing is communicating with your customer. I think that's probably the biggest thing, and explaining it. And I have picked up a lot of jobs by just giving them the time and allowing them to understand. But there's some they won't understand. They'll say, "Oh, I can get it from down the road at the corner car wash," and they'll do everything. But I think probably going a bit off course here, but it's what we use and how we use it. Like our buffers are always kept up to scratch. Our pads are always washed. Things are washed. Whereas you go to some, general car wash, they may not wash, and they might use the same sponge for the next 20 cars. So explain that to customers sometimes helps. But yeah, we do get occasional people that say, "Oh, that's too expensive. I can't afford that." But we try and offer them the lower maintenance detail. Sometimes they grab it, sometimes they don't. But I just don't know if detailing is really our type of detailing. Yours, mine, and other guys that have been on the podcast is well known out there, and how far we actually go, above and beyond to get the results we get. I mean, we see imperfections a lot different to what a lot of people see imperfections on their cars.
Yeah.
And trying to give that person that knowledge can be sometimes hard, can sometimes be good. So. You're sometimes kicking yourself in the foot because now they can see everything.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm too honest, and you sort of point out too much to them, but I'm getting away from that when they pick it up. They go, "Oh, I could have done better there, or could have done this more, but where do I stop?" So
we're always challenging ourselves. I think that's the hardest thing. We've got to sort of know what the cost is, what we're making on it, and there is a start and a stop point, and we just have to find where that stop point is. And there's some cars you get out and the customer's absolutely wrapped, and you get I think there's more odd customers that will pick on your work more so. So
Oh, nice. No, well, how can everyone reach out to you and catch up with you?
Yeah, look, I'm always willing to converse with people. So look, we've got our Instagram, Steve's Auto Group. Facebook, I'm a bit slack on Facebook, but the Instagram is probably the main one. And then we can exchange a number if they want to contact and call. I'm more than happy to talk to them. But that's probably the main bit. Otherwise, you can look up our main business and just type in Steve's Auto Group through Google, and you'll see our business number, and we can go from there. So
no, nice.
So
no, all we did was chat on Instagram, so that's all it is. So, and it's good that you've only been in it for a short time, but you're loving it, and you've been out to get the training to improve.
Yeah, and I still want to get more training. Like, there's always things I think we need to. I just want to challenge myself to improve on. But being young into it, I was a bit nervous getting on the podcast, as I said earlier, because there's a lot of guys that have been in it for a lot of years, and I give them a lot of credit. They know the ins and outs a lot more than what I do, but it's always going to be good to learn that. So having these experienced and older guys that have been into it, it's going to help us out a lot too, I believe.
And that's what this is all about, is to explain everyone's story and experience level, and say how they've done it before or where they've been and how they've got through things. So that's good, and it gets people in touch with each other as well. So other
Yeah,
detailers come on the pod and someone else will reach out to you and say, how do you do this and how'd you go with that? So
yeah, definitely, mate. I agree. I think while listening to your actual detailing podcast from day one, I've actually started following some of the guys, and they followed me back, and I've had a converse with a few of them. So it's been great. Yeah, I mean, I know a few, I know a couple, but by like one on one, I've known them, but over the Instagram, I've met a few thanks to your podcast. So we really appreciate it. I'm sure a lot of details out there appreciate what you're doing for all of us. So
yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm got a lot more friends online, and it's good, and we all chat and have a bit of banter, so it's all pretty good. So
yeah, no, it's great, mate. Thank you, Dale. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. So, well, thanks for your time, Joe, and for coming on and making the effort.
No, thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, I didn't talk your ear off, but
no,
yeah.
No, the other one went for 2 hours the other week. That's all right.
So, yeah. So I listened to that one. That was a great podcast too. A lot of learning in that. Yeah.
So we have no time limit really. So
I'm
not too stressed. So
hopefully I've answered how we've come about and what we do, and hopefully people have understood what I've said. So yeah.
No, it's good. It's a good story because you're not just a detail shop altogether, and that's when I noticed you're a bit more. And I think it's a great model that works with what you got going on. So
yeah,
and you only just started out, and you've gone overseas, got the training. It's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, hopefully it all pays off in the end. So far, it has with the shop and stuff. It's been a big outlay.
Yeah, no, it's a good looking bay you got there as well.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Look, I mean, when you build something, as you know, sorry, I won't keep it, but as you build something, as you know, you think, oh, I need this, and then when you got it set up, you're like, oh, damn, I've missed this, I've missed that, and there's still a lot of things to go in there, and there's something you could have done different. But I think the biggest thing, which I should have mentioned earlier, was that there is a lot of fancy shops out there, and there's a lot of nice shops, and look, I classify our shop as being quite we work with it, but some of the best detailers here in Australia and overseas, they don't have all the fancy, the lighting and whatnot, and they still do produce good work. So that's another thing for someone who's starting out. Don't feel like you got to run in and get all this, what do you call those, hex lighting and all that type of stuff to make it look work. You can still produce great work as long as you've got a decent light for your corrections and stuff. I think you can still produce great work. So yeah, just don't be driven by just presenting a shop and spending that much money until you feel that you can get ahead and then start working from there.
Well, I started just with a tripod, LED tripod, where I am now, and then the flooring, all that wasn't for detailing. That was just man cave stuff, and it just all looks cool. But
no, it does. It looks your place looks great, mate. No, it's good. It works. I mean, you'll find something that works with you that may. Or I'll find something that works for me that may not work with you, or vice versa, and we all work it out in the end. So but I did a tripod too, mate, around the garage with these stupid halogen globes, and I only had the tripod every centimetre I moved, the tripod just about moved. So but
you bump it and then it blows the globe.
You know about it then, mate. Halfway through,
So I 100% agree. So, all right, we'll wrap it up. But awesome, and thanks for your time. And anyone else out there wanting to come on and have a chat, we're open to chat to anyone really. So no matter how good you are, it's we take all walks of life, so it's good. All right, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Dale. Appreciate it, mate.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye. Cheers. Bye.
That was another episode of the Detailing Down Under podcast. Subscribe now for everything auto detailing in Australia.